cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
Hey, but you are so money and you don't even know it.
I understood that reference.
Morning, Mr. Hammond.
Your mission,
should you accept it, steal, destroy, shadow, disappear,
assemble the team.
and
Here we go.
Greetings and salutations. This is Freewheeling Fridays here. I am your host, Ron Devane, Quote Channel, and this is the show where we talk about different elements of pop culture, but we also take your questions, whatever they may be. And we have special guests that join us every week, which is awfully a lot of fun. Please welcome indie comic creator and someone who's a fan of the horror genre, and probably a few other things as well, because I noticed he was doing a little bit of quoting back there as that intro was being played, which was put together by our good friends Case and Lori there. Fantastic, by the way. Chris Brown is here, y'all. What's up, Chris?
How are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Yeah. So I noticed, were there a few familiar faces or moments you saw in that intro there a moment ago?
Just a couple. I'm a movie guy. I like all kinds.
You like all kinds, huh?
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's start right into that. What would you say are some of your favorite movies, past or present? And these could be comic book related or outside of the comic book genre. It doesn't matter.
Sure. Honestly, one of my favorites, and it's going to sound weird, is Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
That is a left field pick.
That is, yep. But I like all of the. I'm not a big space sci-fi kind of person, but aliens, of course, naturally everybody loves. Indiana Jones has been a hero for decades.
Oh yeah.
You know, and anything that good guy triumphing kind of style. But I also love. I was 5 years old, snuck behind my dad's couch when he put Friday the 13th, the first one, on Laserdisc, and I watched it from behind the couch, and I've loved them ever since. I can't stop. You can see Batman up here, Peacemakers over here, all kinds of things. I like Buffy. I liked Buffy the movie and the show.
Wow.
Yeah. When I tell you all kinds of movies, it's hard to find a bad one unless it has Steven Seagal in it.
I mean, I haven't seen too many of his specific filmography, which is known as Steven Seagal, but I've seen the good ones. I mean, for me anyway, I've seen Hard to Kill, I've seen Under Siege. I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent, to the blood bank. With that dry voice of his. I'm going to take you down, man. It's just that kind of stuff. But that's cool that you have I'm Batman. Because earlier on, before this show and before the other show that we did earlier tonight, we celebrated 25 years of Mission Impossible 2, which has nothing to do with the movie I'm about to mention. But still, I was watching films such as Tombstone. I was watching Batman 89. Speaking of Batman, I grew up watching Batman 89 so many times on VHS. I can quote it back to you verbatim, word for word. And we actually had the pleasure of meeting and talking with, and he's been a guest on the show too, Robert Wool, who played Alexander Knox.
Nice.
Give Knox a grant.
Yeah.
We had him on, and I quote, so you may want to go back and watch that footage because Robert's got some great stories on not just working on that movie, but working on Our List and some of the other things he's done in his career, respectively. And he also has a really unique taste in movies. And he also kind of schooled me on how I haven't seen enough classic movies. He kind of scolded me a little bit. But it was all in good fun, though. He's a nice guy. So check out that interview we did with Robert Wool. Great guy. I remember him as Knox in Our List because I grew up watching episodes of Our List when I probably shouldn't be watching it. But because I was young at the time, right? But it was fun stuff. But yeah, when I saw the Batman paint behind you, I was, as you can see, I'm a lot happier. So, that helps. Just out of curiosity, though, what's your favorite iteration of Batman on film? Not counting the TV series, but on film.
Oh, dang it. Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of trouble for what I'm about to say for these two things. One, I think Batfleck is my favorite. Yep.
He's a good one. Yeah.
I
like him.
Think the original Superman 79 is overrated.
78 you mean? Yeah, 78.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. You're only 1 year off, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Is overrated?
I think it's good for the most part, but I think there's things that if it were today, people would have destroyed it. Well, mainly the spinning the earth around backwards part.
Yeah. Saving Lois.
I'm great with him being emotional. I'm perfectly fine
being
with
angry.
That. There's just some things that were a little too much for me. Even
so it kind of undoes the whole 2.5 hours we just watched. It's like, well, if you can spin the earth around, then why are we watching this? If you can it's like, well, what are you doing to me here? But no, I can understand that. I mean, I've seen the original Christopher Reeve, and by the way, God rest the man's soul.
Yes.
And everything he gave to the part was incredible. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but he may not be my favorite cinematic iteration of Superman. I respect his iteration of it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite. But everybody keeps saying, "Oh, when it comes to Superman, who's the greatest of all time?" Everyone says Christopher Reeve. Every single person I've talked to,
Right.
has said Chris, and I'm like, look, I respect the guy. I like the guy. I liked what he did on Smallville, making his cameo of passing the torch on to the new Clark Kent. That Tom Welling episode, man, like that is, and the John Williams score is playing behind them. Oh, brilliant storytelling. And by the way, my hats are off to Alfred Goff and Miles Miller for Smallville, my favorite TV show of all time. # those are the facts. But yeah, 78. But I will say, Superman 2 is quite better with Zod.
2 was bang.
Before Zod.
Yeah, 2 was good.
2 was good, man. That was, and honestly, it doesn't matter what cut of it I'm watching, whether it's the original Richard Lester or the Richard Donner cut. Doesn't matter to me.
Yep.
Although the Lester cut has something that the Donner cut doesn't have, which in this case is the scene where he gets his powers back and he flies back up to the Daily Planet. And he says, "General, would you care to step outside?" That was in the Lester cut, but not in the Donner cut.
I didn't get that. I didn't understand
And
why
I'm
they
like,
took
why?
that. Was a perfect line.
That's a badass mother effer line. Like that is something you say to a punk you're gonna kick someone's ass with.
Yeah.
You know that? I mean, General, would you care to step outside? Because he said it to the guy in the diner. He said the exact same thing to that guy in the diner. He says, "Excuse me, sir, would you like to step outside?" You know, it's like that. That's good acting.
Yep. He didn't need to raise his voice. He didn't need to
change the
over and he was not
doing this.
Yeah.
Change the physicality, maybe.
He needed.
Yeah, change the physicality or the body language, I think is the word.
Exactly.
The words I'm looking for is body language, fellas. But yeah, no, I hear you, man. By the way, Pops is here. He says, "Hey, yo," which is a Scott Hall Razor Ramon reference. I like that. I grew up watching wrestling, so I know what that means. He goes on to say, Addie had her baby today. Wow. Okay. All right. Congrats. I'm not sure who Addie is specifically, but sorry. But congrats on that person having their child. Sorry, Pops. I'm a little out of the tangled web that I don't know who everybody is yet. I'm still learning.
Either way, they can name it Terry in honor of Mr. Hogan.
If they want,
Terry male and female.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I wasn't sure how you felt about it, but yeah, Hulk Hogan passed away this week. Giant star in the wrestling business, giant star in the pop culture industry. I mean, if it weren't, and a lot of people have said this on social media since his unfortunate passing, but they said pro wrestling wouldn't even be what it is today without that guy.
Yeah.
So, got to give. I mean, listen, he's done some stuff that we may or may not be happy with. I understand that, but you can't take away for what he gave the business.
Right.
So,
yeah. The only time I've ever been to it was WWF back then.
At the 10, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Was in
where was
Hershey
this?
Park Arena.
No way.
In the 80s, PA. It was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, baby.
Beware for the main event.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were up in nosebleeds, but I could see it. This is how old it was. I had a 110 camera going.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, they had so many. Junkyard Dog was there. Piper, of course. Everybody was there, and it was a dream. It really was. You know, just seeing your heroes right there.
Did you Did you tear off your shirt?
I had the Hogan shirt. Yes, I did.
Yeah, the Hogan shirt. Yeah,
Yep.
nice. What's his? Pops corrects me. He says, "Shame on you, Addie's one of our regular artists on the network." I'm sorry, I don't know who everybody is yet. I'm a very small fish in a very big pond of the madness, brother. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another wrestler I grew up with. I mean, not so much in the 80s because, like I said, that's before my time. But his run, his crazy, weird, that made no sense run in WCW when he had Gorgeous George and Medusa and Miss Madness, who later went on to become Molly Holly in the WWE. Yeah. That was her debut in pro wrestling as Mona, aka Miss Madness of '99, in WCW when she was working for Ted Turner and all that. So with that weird wild run he went on when he was just spewing out promos that hardly made any sense. He beats up my boy Kevin Nash. He takes the title from him at Bash at the Beach. He loses it one night later to Hogan, and it's just there was a lot of creative differences going on with WCW at that time because everything was falling apart. The ship was starting to fall apart, but we as fans, especially the youngins such as myself, we didn't think about that stuff. We didn't know any of that stuff. We didn't think about the wrestling business like we do now. Now that I'm an adult and I'm learning all these behind-the-scenes stories, I've seen the interviews on social media, and you've seen them too, Chris.
Yep.
There's a lot of skeletons in a lot of people's closets, and some of them, sometimes things in wrestling worked when they had an idea, and some things didn't work when they had an idea. So you got to look at it like that. But WCW had some wild things, man.
Yeah, the only thing I cared about back then was it was whatever I watched on the TV. I would then go to the N64 or the GameCube, pop in WCW Nitro, the video game, and we'd play it out there. I mean, yeah, it was good times.
Yeah, I played WCW NWO Revenge on N64.
Yes.
I played WrestleMania 2000, WWF No Mercy, WCW Nitro. I played WCW NWO Thunder on my PlayStation 1. That was another thing I played.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that one, but
that one I didn't play. No.
Oh, that was fun. They had the more realistic entrance because they had actual footage from Thunder tapings that they used as the entrance for the wrestlers. Also played. I mean, I played a lot of video games, but the pro wrestling games is something I played a lot of. SmackDown versus Raw when that was a thing. SmackDown 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, whatever the heck it was. Like there were so many iterations of SmackDown. All that kind of stuff. Thank you, Pops. Appreciate that, man. So thank you. He says he was going to go into the backstage area and fix up some things. And now I notice what the fix is. Thank you, Pops. Appreciate you, man.
So what would you say was your game that got you into gaming?
Gaming in general, I would say it had to be when I got a PlayStation 1 for Christmas when I was a little boy. And it was under my Christmas tree that year. You know, I think it was Christmas of 1999, if you can remember that far back.
Yeah.
That's going back, fellas. That's going way back. I got a game. I got my PlayStation 1, and the first game I ever got for was Jet. I mean, I was playing games with my brothers. Like, I was playing, like, SNES. I was playing Genesis and all that stuff. But I didn't really start to get into gaming until I had my own systems because I was just piggybacking off my brother's video game systems at the time. It was Jet Moto. You ever heard of Jet Moto?
Yep.
Jet skis, motorized jet skis. So that's when I started to fall in love with gaming as a whole, and that's when I started liking racing games. And then I started playing the Need for Speeds and the what was the other one? There was Need for Speed. There was, oh gosh, I didn't play Twisted Metal. I didn't get into that. But what was it? It was Need for Speed and something else. Why am I blanking on? Oh, Midnight Run. Midnight Run was another one. Yeah. So I played all these racing games and things of that nature. And then when I got my Xbox, then it really took off with Halo. So
nice.
That was some of the stuff I got into as a kid. So that's how I would answer your question as far as gaming is concerned. But yeah, man, there's a lot of movies out there. I mean, there's too many to name. But yeah, there's some good ones. Yeah. What would you say are some of your favorite TV series, past or present? Any TV shows ring a bell?
That is good. That is a good one. Now keep in mind, I'm 70s. I was born 74, so I'm
really old. You don't look it at all. I never would have guessed.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought you were born in '95, man. What happened?
Well, you know. I'm formaldehyde already, I guess. But
it's all good.
But I grew up with things like Sanford and Son. I grew up with Laverne and Shirley, those kind of old shows, sure. But then I didn't know that I got to see my favorite horror icon on the small screen in V the series. And if you've never seen V the series, it's campy, but it is fun as heck. Aliens come down, they're really reptiles. It's a whole thing. It's great. Now, naturally, I also like some comedies. We watched Murphy Brown. I've watched The Cosby Show forever, and Theo's gone. It's another shame. But there's not too many I don't like. Even ones that people are always hard. I can always find something to enjoy in them. I think because I like to see where the creator was going with it. But if you had to pick favorite TV shows, I'm going Supernatural. Naturally, I'm going to say Buffy and Angel. Actually, Angel more. I think I liked Angel more than Buffy. Let's see. MacGyver was good. I like The New Reacher. The New Reacher is pretty badass. The Boys was okay. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Let's see. What else do we watch regular? Not a heck of a lot, really. But some of the Marvel shows are all right. But overall, that's what we do. That's what I don't watch as much TV because I'm always working or I'm on here, and we like doing this. Oh, dude, how could I miss it?
Yeah, you know, I am Cornelio. Yeah, no, I mean, I watched a few episodes of the original series of Beavis and Butthead, but I didn't really. I watched the movie. That's what really made me enjoy the property as a whole. Oh, what do you have up here? What's on this shelf?
And then I have all 26 seasons of South Park sitting here.
Oh,
so I mean, you have to. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Physical media proponent, ladies and gentlemen. Physical media still counts.
Always. Yep.
Yeah. And once again, it's it's an important part of life.
If you haven't seen the new Beavis and Butthead,
No.
they brought out 2 new seasons where now instead of making fun of music videos, they do it to YouTube videos.
Oh.
So it's pretty funny, and they're doing season 3 in September, so I can't wait for that.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen the reboot or the continuation of the franchise Beavis and Butthead, but I remember the movie Beavis and Butthead Do America when Bruce Willis and Demi Moore were trying to kill each other.
Yep.
As their animated counterparts.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny because I didn't know it was Bruce Willis in the first time I saw the movie. It doesn't even sound like him at all. But then when you go and look at the credits, it's like, oh, ex-husband and ex-wife are in this, and they're able to work together and try to kill each other at the same time because they used to be criminals on the run from the law. That's like moonlighting times. It's like a mixture of Moonlight and Die Hard, but that's just me. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead Do America is some funny stuff, man.
They also had Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, which is what started the new.
Oh yeah,
series.
yeah.
But here's another movie. I don't know if you've heard of this one, Hudson Hawk.
Heard of it, never seen it. I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
It is definitely one of the B movie styles for Bruce Willis, but again, it's another one I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Do you like it more so than The Last Boy Scout?
Oh wow!
That he did not too long after or before that.
Boy Scout.
That was him and I want to say it was Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah, it was his partner.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I will say no. I don't like it more than The Last Boy Scout, but I do like it. I'd still watch it any day, but I don't like it as much as or more than The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. All right. Gotcha. No worries. I haven't seen Hudson, so I can't comment or speculate, but I have seen The Last Boy Scout because I own it on DVD. So there you go. Yeah, I bought I think it was a collection of action movies. It's like a 4-film favorites Warner Brothers set, I believe it was, and The Last Boy Scout was thrown in there. So I think it was the action comedy collection or one of the action comedies. It was something to that. Maybe it was just action thrillers. I don't know. It was something to that effect, but it was still funny nonetheless. I'm not going to diminish what The Last Boy Scout gave us. Plus, he kind of riffs on Arnold at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So he was like, you can't walk up to somebody and punch him. Yeah, you got to say something cool, like, I'll be back. Yeah, but something cooler than that. And I was like, I see what you did there, poking fun at your action actor counterparts there, or your partner, whatever. You know what I mean, co-stars. But all right, TV series, not bad. Yeah, I haven't. Here's the problem. Here's my biggest problem. I have only seen 1 season of Buffy and nothing of Angel, but I really need to see Angel because people keep telling me how really good it is. It expands upon the mythology. It moves the story forward, and not a lot, but some people in the Buffy universe have said to me, "Oh, Angel, I think is better than Buffy." It may have only ran for 5 seasons, but dude, it's way better. And I was like, really? You think the spinoff is better than than Buffy? And they're like, yeah. Like, okay, so it is on my watch list. Don't get me wrong. I have it here on my streaming services. I just haven't haven't pushed the play button yet, folks. I'm sorry. There's so many things I got to do. I mean, do you see these TBR books behind me, bro? Like, it is terrible. It is god awful. But I guess TBR or to be watched is a good problem to have. I don't know. It depends on who you ask in the environment that we're living in today with how crazy time is moving faster and faster. Just throwing it out there. What would you say are some of your favorite comic books growing up, or some of your favorite comic books now, past or present? Favorite comic books?
Sure.
Let's focus on that.
Well, growing up in the 70s and 80s, I learned to read with comic books. Right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my first ones my dad collected was.
When was it?
Savage Sword of Conan. That was one of the first ones. Then we went in. He had Spider-Man. He had Punisher. I learned to. I pronounced the words wrong quite a bit probably, but especially with the Conan stuff. But that's how I pretty much learned how to read was with comic books. Spider-Man, my dad would have a briefcase, and he would have 11 by 17 board in there, and he would draw with the magic markers and everything. And so I had my house filled with Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Spider-Man, X-Men, all of these hanging around. So I've grown up reading them.
Wow.
Sadly, we didn't take care of them because we didn't know anything back then.
Right.
They were just in a giant cardboard box stacked up. In fact, he told me something that made me want to kick him in the junk before he passed. He used to get, now, I don't know if you've seen them, but they had bags of comic books where they had 3 different books.
I've seen them.
two of them were always the same, and then one was a brand new. Well, the two that were the same that they used to get was Spider-Man 1 and X-Men 1. Well, they would take those and like screw them and throw them away.
Oh boy,
the different one. Yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, I just want to kick you in the junk.
Those aren't those worth some coin nowadays?
A little bit, yeah.
A couple $100,000, maybe $1 million. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyone know what the going rate is for Spider-Man 1 or X-Men 1 on social media? Let us know in the comments. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And once again, this is our good Freewheeling Fridays show. It's part of the madness entertainment group. Let us know your thoughts or questions in the comments. Do not forget to like and share this. And if you're watching this live or known as Memorax, there's a throwback for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Hello there. With that being said, Pops chimes in the chat. He says, I like Charisma Carpenter. She is hot.
She is an angel.
Well, here's the deal, Pops. I've seen Buffy, so she shows up in that first before she transfers over to Angel, I believe. She is beautiful. I'll give her that. She's quite breathtaking, as one might say. So if Charisma is still hanging about and she goes to a few places on the East Coast for Comic-Cons, let me know. I'd be more than happy to go up and talk with her, meet with her. Maybe go up there and get those digits. You know, maybe I'll get her digits. Who knows, man? We'll play it like it's 1996 with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau. We'll get those digits, man. If you know what I'm referencing. But, oh, boy. Yeah. Good comics, though, man. Good comics. Yeah. Good. I mean, there's no shame in, it's great titles, too, whether it's X-Men, Spider-Man, all that kind of. And by the way, you mentioned Savage Swords of Conan. Now, I haven't read any of the Conan comics, but I have the, what's the name of the book I have? You can't see it. I'm trying to look in the background here. The Coming of Conan the Cimmerian, Volume 1, which is written by Robert E. Howard. So I have the book, which contains a lot of the original stories by Robert E. Howard. I am intending to go and read that because my friend Grayson is a sword and sorcery writer in my indie writer circles that I'm in. I'm also an indie writer on the side. Nice. And he said, look, if you're going to get into sword and sorcery, you got to go back to where it all started with Conan the Barbarian. You got to go back and read Conan the Cimmerian. You got to go back. I was like, okay, man, I got the paperback off of thriftbooks.com. # not a sponsor of the show. Are you familiar with Thrift Books, Chris?
No.
Thriftbooks.com has every book you could possibly think of at thrift price.
Really?
It's real cheap. And you can pick which kind of copy you want. They tell you what the condition is of each copy, so you know what you're getting. And the price range obviously varies between, acceptable, very good, new quality, like new quality, if you know what I mean. So go to thriftbooks.com. It's a great website. It's very addictive, though, because I just bought 3 books a few days ago, and I just got the notification on my phone that they have been shipped. They are on their way to my home. And I got First Blood, written by David Morrell, which is the inspiration for the Rambo movie. I got The Dark Tower 1, The Gunslinger by Stephen King. I want to get into some Stephen King because I've never read a Stephen King novel, to be perfectly honest with you. And then the third, speaking of horror, that's Stephen King for you. And then let me see, what else? What was the third one that we got? It was it was a new book that just came out. It's called Blood and Treasure by Ryan Pote. It's an action thriller written in the vein of Clive Cussler and Indiana Jones. So if you're into treasure hunts, which I know that you are because you mentioned Raiders of the Lost Ark earlier, check out Blood and Treasure by Ryan Pote. It's available right now. And you can get it on thriftbooks.com too.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of these things are available on amazon.com. Don't get me wrong. But if you want a good, conditioned copy and spend a little bit less money, go to Thrift Books. Just saying. And then Pops goes on to say, hell yes, invite Christopher Carpenter to be a guest on the show. I don't know if Christopher Carpenter knows who I am, much less knows my phone number. But if we get her on here, I'll let Chris Brown and Pops know first because you guys are going to want to sit in on that.
You know what's funny? You said you watched the first season of Buffy, correct?
Only the first season. I haven't seen the other subsequent seasons. Yeah.
That's okay. Pops and I, we drove to Georgia for a convention, and we were supposed to have, while we were down there, one of my live guests was supposed to be Nicholas Brendan.
Oh, Xander, yeah.
Yeah, but he ended up canceling like 4 times. In fact, I was calling him. I guess you can't really see, but yeah, I have his number saved in here.
Wow. Yeah, we see it, folks.
Yeah. So I call him, make sure everything's okay, but he wasn't able to go up. I guess he had heart problems or something and wasn't able to come on, but
sorry, man.
That was a shame, but it was cool that, you get to talk to these people that you've watched for how many years, right?
Mm-hmm. So. That's very true. Yeah. No, I'm sorry that the Nicholas Brendan interview between you and Pops didn't work out. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. So if we can get her on, that would be a circle back to something that we didn't get to do a couple of years ago.
That's right. Charisma Carpenter, give us a call. Let's see. He says the deal is you're part of the Madness Network. You can have legit credentials as press anywhere you go. Well, that's a fair point, Pops. I'm trying to think. When's our next? Well, originally I was supposed to go to this show in August, but I'm going to be moving during that time, and I really need to be frugal with my money. So as far as like traveling and other expenses that come with it, as everybody here well knows. So August is out. A few of the other shows I'm going to are local, so they're like 15 minutes away. I don't mind driving that. The one I'm actually going to and where I'm moving to is actually, it may be even less than a 15-minute drive. I don't know. I got to double check, but I should be good to go, but we'll wait and see. But thank you for reminding me of that, Pops, and I will come to you with some questions or what I need to do to get the necessary credentials and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Every con I go to is press. Well, that's just grand. I wish, I know I have the ability to do that. I just got to connect with you and cross the T's and dot the I's on that. But with that being said, yeah, no, I'm not going to say who this person is. I don't want to, I want to respect who, but let's just say I do have a phone number of a certain celebrity he may not be as well known as like a Chris Evans or a Nicholas Brennan or some of these other folks, but I do have one person's phone number and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can literally text this person or call them at any point. Just say, hey, how you doing? What's up? Hope things are going well for you. When are you coming back to my neck of the woods on the East Coast? Because I really enjoyed talking to you the last time we were there. He's a very, very sweet guy. I'll just leave it at that. Like I said, I want to respect this person's privacy and things of that nature. Let's see. Pops Goes says press passes are usually free. Well, thanks. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
I'm not. I don't want you to say where you're from on the East Coast.
Well, I'm in Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
the good old MD, the home of the Old Bay and the crab cakes. Yeah.
But I'm going to be in Allentown, PA on the 23rd and the 24th of August for PA Horror Con.
Hey.
Because you were saying about conventions.
I've been to PA a number of times. I've never been to Allentown, but I've been to PA, like Philadelphia and Oaks.
Yep.
Harrisburg, those neck of the woods, but I've never been to Allentown.
Yeah, it's not far from the border there. So I figured if you're up in that way.
You and I can we can talk off camera more about it to get some details about that. But yeah, and here's another thing for you too. I respect the horror genre, but I'm not a big horror fan. I mean, I do like certain scary movies and certain thrillers, of course, because there are exceptions to the rule, and there are subgenres of horror that a lot of fans, if you're a diehard movie fan, there are different subgenres of horror that aren't necessarily as gory and bloody as some of the other ones.
Yep.
So I mean, granted, I like the first Paranormal Activity. Let's see, I like Nightmare on Elm Street. I think John Carpenter's The Thing is one of the better horror movies. To be perfectly honest with you. What's another one I really like? Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
This house is clear. So I've seen the Friday the 13th. I've seen I'm not the biggest Halloween fan, I'll be honest. I think Halloween is.
No,
I think, with all due respect, I think Carpenter's Halloween series is way overrated.
Yeah.
Way overrated. Way.
Said it tons of times. Yep.
Way overrated. But I do like Nightmare on Elm Street. I think Nightmare on Elm Street blows Halloween and Friday the 13th out of the water in terms of originality. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Let's see. What was this you're saying? Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and make your statement because I just want to take a moment to acknowledge something in the chat. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
There's one. I mean, I like that you brought up that there's different genres of the horror stuff because
there is.
I don't like the Saw style of horror movies.
Yeah.
The torture porn.
Yeah. Oh.
That is not my. It's not. I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Yeah. It's okay. I saw the first Saw movie and I was creeped. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. So, yeah, I saw it. I saw it. There you go. There's your pun.
Yeah.
I saw the first Saw movie by James Wan, and I'm thinking to myself, if this is what the subgenre known as torture porn is, I am out of here. I am done. I cannot do this. This is too much on the brain. What was it that you were saying earlier, Pops? He says, I can get you an interview with John Carpenter's Vampire Queen. Margene Holden, if I'm saying that right. She is a part of the Madness family as well. Really? The Vampire Queen? Now you got me curious. I got to learn more about this individual. He says, bite your tongue, laugh out loud. Now you must read Slaughterville. I mean, listen, there's certain movies I like, and there's certain movies I don't like. Halloween being one of them. I just couldn't get into it. It wasn't that I was bored necessarily through the movie, but I thought to myself, this is what people hold horror for in the high standard for. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put this on the Mount Rushmore of horror films.
No.
At least for me. Me personally, I would put Nightmare on Elm Street as one of the four. 2 would be John Carpenter's The Thing. That would be number 2, right?
Yep.
Number 3, I'm trying to think of other horror movies that I'm a really big fan of. Here's something that is underrated, and I don't think gets a whole lot of attention, but I like it because it's a subgenre. See, I've seen the original Exorcist, right? I've seen it, but I didn't really like it. I didn't really like the original Exorcist. I got to be perfectly honest with you. I respect what the filmmakers were going for, and it was a very big deal for its time, being in I think it was the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But The Exorcism of Emily Rose is based on a true story, and I was fascinated by that movie. And I liked it so much that I bought the extended, what was it called? Like the unrated special edition, whatever we call it, version of it on a DVD. And I still have it to this day, Chris. I'm not going to lie to you. So I would put that at number 3 because I think the whole concept of exorcisms is fascinating. It's very, very fascinating. Very fascinating. And then if we're going to go with a 4th one, because like I said, this is a Mount Rushmore kind of display that we're putting on stage here. Outside of The Exorcism of Emily Rose, what's a movie that really I'm just trying, because there's so many different films, right? Maybe not 7, but something that's kind of related to that. I'm trying to think. Maybe not so much 7, but like a serious someone who was on the loose. And I'm trying to think. It wasn't Zodiac, and it definitely wasn't. You know what? I know this may cause a bit of a. Well, all my picks are going to cause a stir in the comments, Chris. We know this. The Conjuring. I think. I'm trying to think though. Do I like The Conjuring or The Conjuring 2 more? Because I liked both for different reasons. I think that The Conjuring, the very, very first one, is really good. And once again, it's inspired by a true story. Now, granted, obviously it's creative liberties with the facts. And lately, I heard that the Warrens weren't all truthful in some of the cases that they described in their memoirs. So we're dealing with some liars here. But outside of the problems that the Warren family has had over the years, and outside of the controversies they've been stirred up in, I think The Conjuring's a good horror film. Now, if you're going to go back to really soft, not all that scary, but just great for the art form of it, then I would say The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. Then I'm going with Creature from the Black Lagoon. Then I'm going with The Phantom of the Opera with Claude Rains. And then you got The Invisible Man with Claude Rains.
Right.
So those are my favorite old school horror movies. But they're not really horror. I mean, they're horror movies, but it's more of a Hollywood movie. It's a Hollywood movie. It is the early stages of horror. And obviously the makeup by Jack Pierce is revolutionary for the time. Do not get me wrong. But those are some of my favorite horror films that I would put on a Mount Rushmore. How do you feel about this?
I think you're pretty much spot on. I would have Jason. He's my favorite. I would have Freddy up there. But as for the other two, honestly, that's The Thing, because I think The Thing is more frightening than Michael Myers could ever hope to be.
Yeah. Because you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie.
But as far as the 4th one, I'm honestly not sure. That's something I'd have to think about.
Revisit, yeah.
Yeah. But a funny story about The Exorcist. I was like you, I hadn't seen it. Never watched it. Well, I had a motorcycle accident.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Stuff happens. I broke my arm, broke my leg, and I was laid up.
Ooh.
So I decide around midnight I'm going to watch The Exorcist. It gets to that part. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
And I look over towards my kitchen because I was laid up on the couch, and I see 2 glowing eyes staring at me.
Oh, geez.
So I'm like, well, I'm just dead. I'm just going to go now. It's okay. I'm good. But here, somebody left the basement window open, and the neighbor's cat got in, and
and that was the
the moment. Yeah.
Oof.
But
wow.
No, I mean, here's something that might again cause some issue, but I'm okay with it. Controversy creates cash, as the great Eric Bischoff said.
Oh boy, Eric Bischoff. Oh man. So many stories about that guy.
Yeah.
And I've seen his podcast too, so I've heard some of the stories, man.
But I think there's, when we were talking about Michael Myers and we were talking about Freddy and Jason things, there's actually 2 different types of characters there, and I say archetypes, I guess is what I should have said.
Yeah.
The slasher, to me, the slasher style is something undead. They're animated. They're killing for territory, or they're killing for a reason like that. Then you have the serial killer, which I would place Michael Myers and Leatherface in more serial killer territory because they're not Yeah, it's the Leatherface was more cannibal redneck style, but it's still a general serial killer. Okay, but they're not undead. You can kill them if you know. But that's what I don't get about Michael Myers, because they were never clear on exactly what he is. So sometimes you can shoot him and he doesn't die. Sometimes you shoot him, he dies. Sometimes they had no idea what was going on. And in the latest one, last I heard, was a band kid beat him up, killed him, and took his power, took his mask and everything. I mean, I don't know. Halloween was a mess. Yeah.
Oh man, too many creative differences going on back there. I think that's the expression, creative differences, or creative ideas that just don't work.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I saw the reboot Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis coming back 45 years later, and I liked the first one, and I didn't even bother with the second and the third, because I'm like, he should have died.
Yeah.
At the end of that first one. I knew they had plans to make it a trilogy. I think most, if not all, the fans or people who are moviegoers knew that they had planned this to be a rebooted trilogy, with the creators and the directors and producers, whatever it was. And I thought to myself, why? Jamie Lee Curtis spent 45 years running from this guy, and then you bring her back, and then you're just going to have her come back over and over again just to try to keep killing him. But he keeps. It's like, where does it end? You're going to keep recycling the same plot of every other horror movie that's ever been made in the history of mankind, which I'm sorry to say has happened a lot lately. But you know, let's see here. Pops has a thought on this. He says, "I agree. The repetitive ones are all played out. The original Last House on the Left, which I have not seen, Pops. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it, is the one that I think is the scariest movie ever. Laugh out loud. At least, listen, I've heard some things about it. I have not seen the remake or the original Last House on the Left. I did see the trailer for the remake, though, with Monica Potter playing the mom, and she's a good actress, man. Monica Potter is good. If you haven't seen much of her filmography, check out her work as one of the moms in the hit TV series Parenthood from NBC. It's really, really good. And yes, you can rewatch all 6 seasons on Hulu. # not a sponsor of this show, but I'm just throwing it out there if you want to stream it, guys.
Right.
Let's see. Mainly because you find out that the bad guys were not near as bad as the family they tried to mess with. Really? On the Last House on the Left? Okay, well, if I find this at my LCS, also known as local comic shops, support your local comic shops, folks, I will have to check out a copy and spend my $2.50 to get a copy of, if I can find it. Because they sell a lot of used Blu-rays, DVDs at my LCS, so I'll take a look and see if The Last House on the Left is available. Whether it's the remake or the original, I'll get both versions so I can compare the two. And then I'll come back a couple weeks or a month or so later, whatever it is, and I'll bring Chris in, I'll bring Pops in, and we'll be like, hey, let's have a roundtable discussion on The Last House on the Left.
Sure.
If you want.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
So my issue with the latest Halloweens, aside from them being unable to decide if he's
dead or alive,
is, look, God bless Jamie Lee Curtis. God bless Linda Hamilton. But they're in their 70s, dude. They're not going to stand up against any of these serial killers, Terminators, things like this. They gotta. I mean, it wasn't believable that I thought Jamie Lee Curtis could 7-foot-tall Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's a bit difficult to believe, especially with Jamie Lee Curtis. But then again, when Linda Hamilton showed up, I didn't see the movie, but when she showed up in the trailer for Terminator Dark Fate that nobody asked for, I thought, hey, she's got the same Jeep. She's got the shotgun, a similar shotgun that Kyle Reese was carrying in the original. I'm like, hey, there's some throwbacks here, fellas. There's some throwbacks. Yeah. But at the same time, that doesn't mean it's going to make a great movie, much less a good storyline. Just because you bring Linda Hamilton back 40 years later doesn't mean, or excuse me, 30 years later, because the second one came out in 1991. So I want to make sure I'm saying this right. But you're bringing her back 35 year, whatever the frack it is. I'm like, dude, get over it. Get over it, man. And listen, this is going to cause, once again, we like to cause a stir in the comments.
Absolutely.
And once again, this is why we call it Freewheeling Fridays, because you never know what's going to happen. I like the Terminator from 1984, the original film, more than the second. Everyone says Terminator 2 is the greatest of all time. And listen, I respect you folks who have that opinion, but for my money, I will die on this hill, Chris. I will die on this hill. The Terminator is my favorite of the series. It is in my top 10 movies of all time. The Terminator of 84 is a perfect movie from beginning to end. There's no bad parts. There is no bad acting whatsoever. And James Cameron made it on a shoestring budget. And he shot it guerrilla style with no permits, no authority, to shoot it in LA in the middle of the night, and he did it on a shoestring budget. Okay, so if you look at that movie and the difficulties and the challenges that were presented to them when they were making this, you would realize how great of a film and how classic the Terminator is as compared to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which basically is the same story all over again, just amped up to 11, and they have better effects and more resources at their disposal because at that point, James Cameron had been an established filmmaker and had the credentials and the money, and he had the studio backing, and he had the permissions of LA and all this other brouhaha that was going on. And listen, I own 1, 2, and I'll say this, this is going to scare everybody. I think Terminator is a trilogy, not just 2 films. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, wraps up the whole story, at least in my opinion, in a respectable way, because the third movie ends with the apocalypse coming and John Connor realizing that his destiny is to save the human race. Okay? So the way they ended Terminator 3 was ballsy, it was gutsy, but I like it. All right? And the words of the Nature Boy, whether you like it or you don't like it, learn to love it because it is the best thing going today. So if you like Terminator, I'm a Terminator trilogy fan. I am not a just Terminator 1 and 2 fan, and that's the end of it. No. And speaking of TV series, we didn't get a chance to talk about this earlier between you and I, Chris, but Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, season 1 is, I think, really, really good stuff. Obviously, season 2, they go way off the rails.
Yeah.
But that tight-knit season 1, which was only 9 episodes, it's tight, it's brutal, it moves fast, it's got Summer Glau. Speaking of sci-fi royalty, she's freaking Firefly, son. Hello, someone just came into someone else's studio. Hi there. Hello, whoever that was.
That was my boy.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, dude? But sorry, just had to say hi. But yeah, Sarah Connor Chronicles is good shit, man. Have you seen Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's some good stuff, man. Linda, what's her name? Lena Headey from Game of Thrones. I mean, come on, bro. She knows what she's doing, and she plays a good Sarah Connor.
Yeah. Yep. I thought it was a good series. I was hoping they would have given it more
time.
That's all it really. I think all it needed was more time and script developed. Yep. I think they had to rush it. But so I got to say, I liked that you brought, while we were talking about Terminator, you brought a frack back, because of the toasters. So it was a nice jump in there. But what are you thinking about the new Friday the 13th prequel series? If you haven't heard of it,
well, let me ask you this: is it available to stream? Is it out yet, or are they in the process of developing it?
They're developing it. Linda Cardellini, the one that played Velma and Hawkeye's wife.
Yes,
she's going to be. I believe she's going to be Pamela Voorhees, and this is going to be. Yes, it's going to be that kind of a.
No, they're going back to the.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It really depends. I'll say this. I mean, granted, we've seen great trailers for bad properties, and we've seen bad trailers for really good properties. We've all seen this, folks. This is a fact. It really depends on the trailer and what they're selling me, because I've seen. This is going to sadden everybody in the room, including you, Pops. You're going to hate me for this, but the only Friday the 13th movie I've seen is the 2009 Jared Padalecki and Daniel Panabaker remake, and then I saw the Freddy vs. Jason movie. Those are the only 2 Friday the 13th movies I've seen. I've never seen the original, even though we know it's Jason's mom in the end. I've never seen the Friday like 2, 3, whatever it is. Like there's 70,000 of these things. I've never seen any of the originals. And the other thing is, what's the other one? I've seen the original Halloween. I've seen Halloween H2O, which is the 20th anniversary one with Jamie Lee Curtis. And what's his name? LL Cool J or Limp Bizkit, whatever his name. Yeah, whatever. Did Jamie Lee Curtis go on record by saying she hated making that?
She hated that movie. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know she hated it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jamie Lee. I'm sorry about that. But hey, you got a fat ass paycheck out of it. So.
Damn right. I'll take the money.
She got a paycheck for it, even though she probably hated making it. She, like you said, she hated making it. But I've never seen any of the Friday the 13th. So I got to go back and do some history here. I got some history I got to catch up on. By the way, let's start with 5.
Yeah, dude. Any of the other ones before it are okay. Most of them are just okay. But after 5, then he starts turning into the zombie Jason, and it picks up from there. Jason X, dear God. If you want to see something goofy fun, Jason X. Jason
Yeah.
Goes to Space.
Yep, Jason Goes to Space. Yeah. I've seen clips of it, if you know what I mean, on social media. But outside of the clips of Jason X, but people keep telling me like, dude, you gotta see it. It's so bad, it's good. But it's so bad, it's good. Like it's a good movie, but it's bad. I'm like, okay. So I'll have to sit down and watch that. And by the way, Pops makes a good point. He says, we can play these movies, The Last House on the Left and others, on Pilled as a watch along.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I know the Madness does that a lot. They have special presentations on Pilled, which I know is a big streaming platform nowadays, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pops, if you want to get together and put together a schedule for some horror movies that Ryan needs to see before he croaks, and we can do it on Pilled, and you, me, and Chris, and some of the other horror aficionados of the Madness can be on it. Like I said, I'm not the biggest horror fan, but we can do it in spells. Like we can do a Last House on the Left 1 week, and then we can let Ryan recover from the horror of that, and then we can bring me back 2 weeks later or a week later and be like, okay, Ryan, let's pace ourselves. Let's watch one horror movie at a time. Let's not subject Ryan to 5 horror movies at one time. No. But yeah, let me know, Pops. You and I can discuss a schedule or a kind of deal or a spreadsheet. Me, you, Chris, some of the members of the maybe Kitty Phillips from Flip City Magazine can get in on it. I don't know.
They're actually playing the Slaughterville RPG with me on Thursdays. We just
finished
the campaign.
Mm-hmm. Pops informed me of that, which congratulations on that, by the way. That's really good. So speaking of which, we can rope into this now since we've gone 45 minutes talking about nonsense. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about pop culture.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just kidding. We're 45 minutes in. It's crazy. What made you decide to become an indie comic creator? How did that start?
Well, yeah. I started off with board games.
Mm-hmm.
And my first game was, the Slaughterville series. And I created that so that you could play all of the different types of games on your shelf in a single box. See, what you do is you build the town out of 6 different locations, and then you choose one of our many different villains, like the Slasher, the Dream Demon, Zombie Horde, Cannibal Rednecks. We have 24 different villains. We just launched. I'm fulfilling it now. Is the Pumpkin Fiend? That's pretty much done being fulfilled. From there, because I like narrative storytelling board games, and that's what this is. It allows you to go through and you get to play your favorite B horror movies. And you'll play as the characters like the stoner, the jock, the nerd, the goth chick, the final, all of it. Okay, they're all 72 different characters we have. So once I did that, I started saying to myself, okay, I like that they can play this, and I like that they can make their decisions. They get a story, and they can tell the stories and have fun of talking about how the stoner went into the sewers and found some special herbs, right? Stuff like that. I took it from there, and I'm like, well, what happens if I wrote this? Like, what happens when I play the game? And that's kind of where the graphic novels came in. And they're right behind me here. I have 1, 2, and 3 back here. And it's just my way of telling a story. Now, what I did with those is I expanded the graphic novels into full-fledged sets of novels here. So I have book 1 and book 2 shipping out. The first one, again, is The Beast Within. That's the werewolf. That's the Cannibal Rednecks there. That's my 3rd book that's going to be coming out either later this year or next year. Yep, that one there.
Is that Marina Baccarin on the cover? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I wish. I wish I could afford someone like her. But and then we put out the Slasher, and that's the one that's shipping out to everybody now. And then once I started doing the novels, I said to myself, well, what's a way to make it so that people can really create their own story? So I started creating this role-playing game. And I like RPGs. I have a bunch of them. And there was one I was playing was the Alien RPG from Free League. Well, they also put out Blade Runner, and they put out The Walking Dead and all of this. But Alien had something really cool in it, because Alien is supposed to be a claustrophobic, stressful style game. So they had a stress mechanic in it. And Slaughterville, the board game, is all about sometimes you're going to panic and run away, just like people get freaked out and do in horror movies. And I was able to use, they gave me permission to use the engine for Aliens, Blade Runner, Walking Dead, all of it and they didn't charge me anything. They said, yeah, we like it. Go for it. Use it. And that's what I built. The Year Zero engine, I used it to build the Slaughterville RPG. And that's we've been playing it. My God, I think we have probably upwards of 25, 30 episodes of us playing. Yeah, like he's saying, that's where Dante and Karen came from, is the Slaughterville RPG. That was the first one we played. They showed up, and they went into the Slaughterville Asylum, and history was made from there. Now, I'm also, but that's how I got started. I'll go on a rant and I'll talk forever. So but that's how I got started. I started off with board games.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of different ones. I have several different board games. In fact, I've created choose your own adventure board games. I have Gone Hunting, which lets you feel like you actually go out hunting, but it's just a board game. Gods of Metal is a deck building game where you are a heavy metal band standing on stage and defending reality against the overlords and their demons. Think the game Brutal Legend. If you've never played it, you're missing out. You're missing out if you've never played Brutal Legend. But that's pretty much what I did with that card game is Brutal Legend in the card format.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Favorites.
Clearly, your resume is 37,000 miles longer than mine.
Yeah,
I'm just an indie podcaster, and now I'm a published indie writer. My first short story just came out this week. It got published in a Western anthology, which you can find on Amazon, by the way. It's called Western Tales Volume 1, presented by Veritas Entertainment, which is the new name in indie publishing. So if you're a Western fan, it may not be the horror genre, but it is straight up Westerns. If you're a fan of outlaws and gunslingers and we all know Lori Calcaterra can talk about Westerns all day long, because we've had her on in the previous months and years saying, hey, how do you feel about Westerns? It's like, well, I write a story called Path of the Pale Rider. What else is new? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, well, the Western is your baby, isn't it? She's like, yeah, I love Westerns. Why is that? And then we have a whole spiel about that. You can go back to the And I Quote YouTube channel. We have a Western celebration with Ryan and Lori, which is myself and her. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, my first story got published this week, so nice. It's a big deal. Yeah, it's doing very well on Amazon. The anthology, I think, is ranked number 22 or the top 20 new releases on Amazon right now. So we are just killing it. Thank you to everybody who has supported us and purchased a copy. If you do have a copy of it, post it on social media. Tag us. Let us know where it is in the wild. Could be on the prairie. Could be on the in the desert somewhere. Or in a cow town or something. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. For those of you wondering, I'll drop the link here in the comments so you guys can treat yourself and buy yourself a copy on it. It is available on ebook, paperback, and hardcover. So I'll put the link here in the comments, Pops, because I know you're going to yell at me and saying, promote your work, damn it.
Right.
I will. Trust me, it'll happen. Well, what a looky what we have here. Look at this. Oh, yeah, Slaughterville, the Beast Within. There it is.
If you're into it and you want to try it, it is free on Kindle Unlimited for a while yet.
There it is.
Or you can grab the paperback. So it's out there for you. We're going to put 2 on as soon as the backers get it. But yeah. And I did save this just so I can. Good.
Because Thrift Books has everything. Literally, Thrift Books has everything you could possibly. Like, I found Tarzan by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I found the Mars trilogy, which is also Edgar Rice Burroughs. Princess of Mars, and what do you call it? The John Carter of Mars series is on there. Which, because I asked my friends in the Discord, I'm in a writers Discord, which is how I found and how I got my writing groove back. Is I joined a Discord and when I started talking to these writers, my creative juices started flowing again, and they haven't flowed for 5 years as far as the writing goes. I mean, I can podcast all day long, but I haven't written anything in 5 years, but now I'm writing again. So, hey, life has a way of surprising you.
Right.
Things come full circle. And you mentioned the characters appeared in your tabletop. Pops goes on to say, we have demoed all these games in the tabletop demos playlist on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this, Pops. Is there anything you haven't flipping done in your career? Good Lord. Is there anything you haven't done with these fine people at the TTRPG games? Because honest to God, you people do like 60,000 shows a week, and I'm just here doing 1 show a week. So I don't know how you people do it, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what they say, right? More power to you. In your opinion, Chris, what are the rewards about being an indie comic creator?
Okay, that's a good thing. My thing is this. Now, I've always said if I could just give my things away, if I had the money and I could just give my games and my books and everything away, I would, just because I think they're worth reading. And my biggest problem is promotion. I'm terrible at it. I admit it. Like I'll talk to you about how you do it later. But as far as the biggest thing is, 1, you own your property. That's a given. Okay. 2, you get to control your pace. If you're working for somebody, you have to struggle and work on their schedule. Now, we all know if we're rushed sometimes, or we have things that come up, illness, what have you, we may not put out our best work possible. But if we are able to work on our schedule within reason, you still want to bust your butt and get it done. We're able to put out a better product. And I think, one of the best things about it to me, and this is the honest to God truth, I don't think I could do this without this, is the people actually telling me that they enjoy it, right? I've had people write to me, talk to me at conventions and things, and they will tell me, I have a shelf at my house just for your stuff. You know how freaking weird that is, man? That is awesome beyond the telling of it. That's not something that somebody like me is used to, and having people come up with their family at conventions and saying, hey, this is him. He's the one that did this. I will talk to them all day long. I don't care. Sit down with me and please. That's why I tell everybody when I'm going to these conventions and things, because I want to talk to you. I want to meet everybody. It's just, that is what keeps me going with it. I don't make a ton on these. I don't care about money. I don't have a ton of money, but I don't care about money, because what I do this for is because I love telling stories, and I love giving people the opportunity to help tell their own stories. That's what I do it for.
Oh, I can dig it, man. I can dig it. Yeah, no, I completely understandable. If you find something you love and you do what you love, it's not called work.
Yeah.
So, which I totally get. Yeah, I'm not. Obviously, when we published our stories and whatnot in this anthology recently, they said, hey, if it makes a certain amount of money, you get this, that, and the other. I'm like, yeah, that's cool and everything. But at the end of the day, I don't, me and the other writers would agree. We don't do this for money. We do it because we love it. We do it because, we're storytellers. We want to tell a good story. We want to get the readers involved, because our readers are our babies. They're our audience. We want to, do our best to bring something to them that they will enjoy and give some escapism, because it's a mixed up world we live in out there. So, if we can do that, then, I would have done my part for society. But that's good stuff. So the flip side of the coin, though, speaking of Harvey Dent, I believe in Harvey Dent. What are the challenges about being an indie comic creator?
That's an excellent question as well.
Yeah.
My personal challenge is, I get so into the work. I will ask Pops. He's right here. He knows. I will disappear for months sometimes, and it's nothing personal. I don't hate anybody, right? I'm not angry at anybody. My thing is, I get so into the work that that's all I see. I'm also, my worst part of the indie part is that I'm terrible at promotion. I'm not able, with who I am, to get out there and talk to everybody. I don't have I don't know if it's so much that I don't have the connections, but it's that I don't like asking, because I don't like bothering people. Like, I've seen your show on here quite a bit, and I didn't want to ask to come on because I don't like bothering people. It's just the way it is. That's just the way I am. But yeah, those are my two biggest challenges as far as the writing, or as far as the indie scene in general goes. Is that, and just getting the name out, talking to people, or the fact that I do get lost in the work. He hates us all. I don't know.
He's joshing you. Because it says LOL at the end of the statement. So
sorry,
he's just joshing you.
Kicker thing here. I'm blind over here. Right?
Oh, okay.
There was a gun. Boom! Kicked me in the face. Broke my nose. All this stuff. So I don't see the comments often. When I'm looking at you, I'm looking here.
It's okay.
So yeah, I catch him once in a while.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. And he posted a link to Laughing Rogue Games in the chat here for everybody. So
I appreciate that.
There you go, Pops. See, he's promoting everybody. Well done, man.
But I do. I love making games. I love writing. In fact, I'm right. Do you know Doc Blaylock?
I may or may not have heard the name once or twice.
He did Damn Dirty Thing. He's a friend of Pops and all that. And well, I'm doing a book based on his Damn Dirty Thing series. Jake Bishop is a private detective. And
I like private detective stories. I like that, like a Private Eye,
Yep.
Kind of like a noir.
I'm on chapter 9 of that story, writing it.
Chapter 9.
Yeah, out of 14. So I'm almost done with that book for him.
Okay.
And yeah, he said, yeah, sure, go ahead. I like what you do, so go ahead and write it. I send him the full outline. He liked where it was going, and I fleshed it out from there.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
I'm pretty happy with it.
I was going to say, congratulations on that front, for sure. And congratulations on all your success. So if someone came up to you and said, hey, I want to get into this thing. I want to have an idea for this. I have an idea for that. What advice would you give to aspiring indie comic creators or just indie creators in general out there?
Sure. My main advice for anybody that's out there that really wants to get into this, whether it's games, books, novels, comics, whatever it happens to be, know your budget and know your limitations, because that's going to drive a lot of everything. But write the story that you're going to love. Because if you don't like it, if you're not into it, then nobody else will be. Plus, and this is going to sound really, really bad, and I understand it, let somebody that hates you read it, or somebody that just doesn't even care about you and like you, because they are going to be the single most honest to you. They're going to tell you when a story doesn't work. They're not going to be your friend that says, oh yeah, it's great, even if it's not. You want that criticism, which is going to be hard to take at first. Trust me, I know. But you need it. You have to have it in order to make everything better. Mike Barron told me once when he called, he said, everybody has to get their first SH book out of the way. And it is true. You have to get that story out of the way, but you have to also surround yourself with not yes men, but with people that are going to be brutally honest in a positive, constructive criticism style way. That's pretty much where I'm at.
No, understandably so. Yeah, I get that. Completely understandable. See here, Pops, you're just on fire tonight in this chat room, aren't you? You just have something to say about everything, about anything to anybody.
Come on.
I know, honestly. I mean, if he wants to come out from that curtain of his, no, I'm just kidding. Let's see. He says, Chris, we take their games in directions they didn't foresee. I love hearing Chris say, as a GM, I didn't see that coming. He wrote the module, and we can surprise him, and he pivots quickly, which is good. And then he goes on to say, Pops goes on to, there it is. I was looking for that. Pops goes on to say, Chris is and has always been a solid contributor to the Madness family. Stuff to give away, his time during the shows. He has been a huge help to me, says Pops. Wow, there you go. So you're getting all kinds of lovey-dovey here.
I don't deserve the praise. I'm just a vegetable hanging out, man.
I mean, well, you know what I say. You know what I say to Pops every day I see him. I say, Pops, I'm just a simple man trying to make his way in the universe. That's all I am.
Bring your towel.
Yeah, exactly. One or the other. But no, that's great advice, though. Don't get me wrong. Constructive criticism, folks. We all got to take it at some point.
Afraid of it.
Yeah, you can't hide from it forever. That is for sure, especially when you're just getting started and you build up an audience, build up a readership. I think is another word that we use around here. Readership, fellas. Readership.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Before I continue on with my array of questions that Chris is just loving to answer, because I love stumping this guy to no end.
Yeah.
I'm just joshing. It's all in good fun, though.
Hey, that's what we do.
Well, that's true. And then he Pops continues to say, and he repeats the same thing. Don't forget to bring a towel. Yeah, there you go. Not sure what that means, Pops, but don't tell me. Anyway, we got some great creators out. Well, I don't know what I mean, is that like I don't know what it means. I really don't.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay, I've seen the movie, but I never read the book.
Yep. Don't forget to bring a towel.
Never read the book. I've seen the movie. I saw it once. It was fine, but I didn't walk out loving it. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm right with you on that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the. But before I ask the next body of questions, there's some great creators out there doing some wonderful things. There's so many wonderful people out there. We want to give them a shout out. So take a look at these fine folk.
I am Bo-Katan, and you are watching us on Madness Comic Network.
No, thanks, Bo-Katan. Appreciate you, girl. I mean, you're still kicking ass and taking names with that Darksaber, are you not? What can I say? I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I love the fact that you Pops and you and your crew were able to interview some cosplayers at that convention. You got Bo-Katan up there, so it's pretty cool, man. Just saying, Star Wars, it's good stuff. Just throwing it out there. So with that being said, what is your 5-10 year plan moving forward with this whole thing known as Slaughterville, USA? Well, what's going to happen here with Slaughterville moving forward?
Absolutely. A few things. One, I have to show you this quick before we go.
Oh, yeah.
I also have the
jeez.
killer cut and the Freddy versus Jason lower decks.
Oh my gosh.
But
live long and prosper.
Absolutely.
Because my favorite, well, real quick, my favorite Star Trek movie is First Contact. That's my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
The line must be drawn here, this far, no further. You know, it's great stuff. Picard's my favorite captain.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's Patrick Stewart, man. He's Charles Xavier too, so he's got two of the biggest roles in history under his belt.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, what's the plan for Slaughterville moving forward? You're going to kill more people, maybe get some new victims in there, or maybe get Marina Baccarin to star in one of your mini movies or something. What's going to happen?
That would be a dream. Yeah, but no, I've put out there so many times on different places on how to get people to help me because I'm no filmmaker. Oh, know your limitations, y'all. Sorry, everybody. I am no filmmaker, so anybody that can help me bring this thing to either animation or my preference would be live action. It would be an absolute dream come true for me. But as far as this goes, I have 20 novels planned. I have Slaughterville 4, the board game, Slaughterville 4 coming out probably mid next year. Naturally, the book 3 for Slaughterville is coming out early next year. The RPG, I'm putting out the Tourist Guide, which is the book 2 for the Slaughterville RPG. That should be maybe November, unless I focus more on the Jake Bishop novel. But I have plans for this thing to go on just about forever. I can, as long as there are loving horror movie tropes, we can put them into this game, and it's going to be just going to be an absolute blast. The only time I'll stop making it is when I stop breathing, and that's really where it is.
That's a long.
Make other games, yeah.
I was going to say that's a long time from now. Yeah, that's goodness gracious. Well, that's awesome. So you're gonna Kevin Feige, James Gunn, Peter Safran, all these guys. You're gonna blow them out of the water because you got plans for 50,000 other things that they don't know about. And the other thing is, you, Lori, and Carissa are kind of in the same boat where you got these 50-year plans for the rest of eternity. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just sitting over here trying to get the laundry done and write my next short story and get it published in an upcoming anthology, or just publish it through Amazon KDP.
I love KDP.
You know, I gotta get on that because I got all these ideas for short stories I haven't written down over here in my notebook off to the side of my studio, and I'm in the process of editing one of my short stories that's a coming of age sword and sorcery story that I believe. I'm trying to think because it's been a while since I've touched the edit portion of it. Anyway, I think it's set in the 90s. So anyway, I don't want to bore you with my short story details.
No, you're not boring me. I'm here to listen, baby.
Okay, well, it's a short story about a kid who finds a sword in the woods, and only he can hear it when it's like going through like he sees it up in the sky, but he's like the only person who can see it flowing through the sky and crash into the ground. It's like he has a special ability or something like that. And he finds this sword, and little does he know, the sword has chosen him to be its protector. And it's got obviously the sword has a history behind it. There is mythology with it. It's really, really cool. I like where the story's going. Obviously, I'm still in the process of going back and doing the edits and the revisions of it, of course, because I submitted my rough draft and I have a friend of mine look it over, and she gave me some edits that I should make because she's a writer herself. And I was like, okay, this is all right. So I need to add this. Okay, so I need to add that. So I'm in the process of editing it, but I will say I like swords. So I was like, hey, what if I wrote a coming of age mixed with sword and sorcery story, and it just happened to be set in my favorite decade of all time, known as the 90s. And now I'm writing it, and I'm in the process of revising / editing it. So once I get the edits done and I take it to some people, get some readers to look at it, make sure it's okay and good to go, then I will publish it more than likely on Amazon KDP, or publish it with the people I got my short story published with recently, the Western one with Veritas, and say, hey, I want this to go up. You know, what do we do? How do we go about it? And let's go. So we'll see how it goes. Wish us luck. We'll see how it goes. By the way, Pop says we need to get Ryan to join us for a Slaughterville RPG run. I mean, depending on the day and the time, and I'm not busy, text me, let me know when it is, and if I'm able to make it, Pops, send me the link, and I will test my mettle in an RPG run, because I haven't played one in forever, if not ever. So I'm going to be the rookie at this, but hey, if you explain the rules to me and I can understand what's going on, then I should be fine.
Thursdays, 11 a.m.
Oh, well, the good news is I'm home Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. The problem is I work nights at 9 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning, and I need to get some sleep during that time. So if I did it, I would have to sacrifice a lot of because, well, let me ask you this. How long do these RPG runs go? 5-6 hours?
No, gosh, no. We only do about an hour and a half.
Okay, well, that's reasonable. Okay, well, in that case, if I have to sacrifice a little bit of sleep one day where I don't have a truck that night, because I unpack, I work retail, so I have to unload the trucks and put the stuff out on the sales floor. Yeah. So if we have a night where there are nights each week where we don't have a truck. So if there's a morning where I come home from work and we don't have a truck that night that I have to go into work, then I would say to Pops, okay, I'm free this Thursday, let's go. Or I'm free tomorrow morning, let's go. So, which I'm sure I can text the people at Madness and they'd be accommodating. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You, me, Pops, we'll figure it out. He also goes on to say, we just survived the slasher. Well, that's great, Pops. Good for you. And then he says, artists want to be a part of an epic event? Hit me up at Pops Van Zandt, aka Madness Comic, on social media. A few weeks in a row, you do it. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
So what you said earlier about Terminator being done on a guerrilla budget, guerrilla style, that's the kind of thing I was looking for with this. The Slaughterville series thing is very
guerrilla style.
I don't mean low budget as in cheesy. I mean, I don't think we're going to need all the special effects and everything. The only thing that would need is, because the first one's about a werewolf, I would need somehow, and that's not something I know. I again, know your limitations, everybody. That's not my area of expertise, and I'm glad to farm it out and help pay to get this taken care of. But that would be my dream, was to get that done.
Oh, well, there you go. Just out of curiosity, though, if Slaughterville was to be adapted into a Netflix or a series or a movie series, whatever, what actor or actresses would you cast in certain roles? Do you have any names in mind? If you could play fantasy baseball a little bit, you can cast your own Hollywood star or starlets. Who would you cast?
Oh man, I honestly, God, had never thought of that. That is crazy.
I mean, I'm assuming you'd want to get some of the Buffy alums, such as Charisma or David Boreanaz, to show up and play some roles. Or Marina Baccarin, who knows? I mean, she's been on a number of different movies, such as the Deadpool franchise and V, the TV series V. So who knows? But yeah, who would you cast? Any names pop out at you?
No, only because, again, that's and I don't mean it in a bad way, but that's one that caught me off guard because I hadn't thought of it. It's a good question. See, the main gentleman, John, he's average height, 6 foot kind of guy for action movie style, and blonde hair. But who would be? I would want lesser known, because I wouldn't want the stigma of, oh, it's Chris Pratt playing Chris Pratt kind of a thing.
Or Ryan Gosling.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's another one.
And if anybody ever suggests Pedro Pascal, I will kick them in the...
Yeah, because he's in everything right now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's about done with him now.
Literally, he's in everything. Fantastic Four, The Last of Us, The Mandalorian television series, The Last of Us TV series.
But like this, I'm going to show you the picture. This is the mayor.
Eddington. Oh, okay.
So somebody, an older-looking guy that would be... But I wouldn't think... like
J.K. Simmons, maybe?
Oh my God, that would be an ideal.
How about J.K. Simmons? Or what's the other guy that we know? Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. How about him?
They would be excellent, because he has to be quietly sinister, but at the same time he has to be strangely charming because he's the mayor of the town. You know what I mean? Then
I'm going with J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
I think he can do it. He can do it, right? Because he won the Oscar. He got Oscar buzz for Whiplash and all the other, and the Spider-Man movies. Obviously, it's J. Jonah Jameson, which, by the way, he was cast perfectly back in 2002 to play that role. It's like, Spider-Man, what is he? He's a criminal. That's what he is. A vigilante, a public menace. What is he doing on my front page? Sarah says, your wife says the money for the top. We have a page. We have a page 4 problem. We have a page 1 problem. Shut up. It's just, dude, those Spider-Man movies from back in the day. Oh my God.
He was good even in Red One,
Mm-hmm.
the Santa, where he played Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus movie with Dwayne the Rock Johnson
And Chris Evans, I believe.
Oh, Chris, yeah, that's right. He was, and Lucy Liu was in that.
Yep.
Speaking of beautiful women who don't seem to age, Lucy
I know,
Liu.
right?
Lucy Liu, hello there. I mean,
Salma Hayek.
Well, that's not to get into too much deep into the weeds here, but if you've seen the latest issue of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and you saw Salma Hayek on the cover of that at the age of 56, I'm just saying, not to go anywhere else, but she's on the cover of that. And I believe I received a notice the other day from social media. I was on Instagram just scrolling randomly through my friends' feeds. And it appears that she was also the cover model for swimsuit, Sports Illustrated swimsuit, Italy or Spain or something like that. Yeah. So when I saw that, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's not surprising. Because like I said, Salma Hayek and a lot of other actresses don't seem to age. So, well done. I can't believe she's 56.
Right.
She does not even close. She looks like she's barely 30, like in her 30s. She's barely in her 30s. At least in my opinion. Some people may think differently than me on this, and that's fine. But
that's the Gen X people.
Well, when it comes to casting, what was it? Pop says, "I'm Dante. Nobody else gets to play Dante but me." So we can't recast.
Yeah.
The character known as Dante, and then he also says, it's gonna the campaigns. He says, it'll be 10 hours or so, but we break it down into 5 or 6 episodes over 5 or 6 weeks. Wow, really? Okay, that's
that would be rough for you. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a lot of RPG. I'm sorry, I don't think Ryan is ready for that yet. And then he also goes on to say, John Rhys Davies, if you can get him to shave his head, could play one of the roles in one of your movies or TV series there, Chris. Yeah.
I want to go. Did you ever see? This is something I didn't know when I first started doing this with the Slaughterville thing. I was talking to a guy who used to be a friend of mine. Sadly, he parted ways. He's still alive as far as I know, but he doesn't talk to us anymore. But I said to him, I can't think of a name for this town. It's got to be something horror related, but still, still have a town feel. Then that's when he came up with the Slaughterville, right? And then a few years later, after I'd had the game out and I'd had expansions out and so on, I come to find out there's actually a Slaughterville in Oklahoma. So I am going to set it up where I get to talk to the mayor of that town. And I'm going to drive down there and I'm going to give him a copy of the books, the games, everything. Just so we can say we played Slaughterville down in actual Slaughterville. So
wow.
That's my goal.
Who'd have thunk that there'd be a town in this country, let alone this earth, named Slaughterville in the great state of Oklahoma, which, by the way, I've heard good things about certain areas of Oklahoma. I've personally have never been before. I mean, there's a lot. There's 45 or 43 states I've never been to, which is a lot, by the way. But I hope to visit some of these states when I have the money, because as we all know, traveling is quite expensive these days. So, Pop says he's going to be going too when you visit Oklahoma with the mayor.
Yep.
So
we're going to try to get Lori up because she lives down there in Texas.
Yeah, get Lori to go with you, because that's got her both of your names written all over it respectively. So I think you need to include Lori in this.
Yep.
Lori, if you're watching this, you got a trip coming your way very soon. So stay tuned. Chris and you are going to be in touch on the DMs. Lori's a good friend of ours. We love Lori. Like I said, she can talk about Westerns all day long. We did a discussion about a year ago, which, Chris, I'm going to DM you the link to that video so you can take a listen or take a look back at that. And we also did our most recent one called The Western Genre Celebrated, between myself, Luke Goodish, who's an indie writer from Veritas Entertainment that published my Western short story, Hey, and T.G. Brown, who's also an indie writer. He wrote this book that's sitting behind me. It's called Cut Them Down. It's a Western set in the 1800s in the state of Oregon. And it's about two lawmen who are having a crisis of conscience when they arrest someone who's accused of a brutal crime. And they're not sure whether the suspect is guilty. One of them is sure that the suspect is guilty, but his partner isn't so sure. So there's a bit of a difference of opinion in the book. So if you're interested, I'll send you the link to Cut Them Down, written by our good friend T.G. Brown, too, if you're a fan of I'm assuming you like the Western genre.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, well, I'll send you the link to some stuff that you can go back and listen to or catch up on. See the craziness that ensued between Lori and I during that. How long was that show? I think it was like 2 hours long that night.
Wow.
Well, like I said, Lori and I can jibber jabber about a lot of random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get serious, we could chat about a lot of random shit. So, Dante and Karen in Slaughterville. Yeah, that needs to happen, Pops. It needs to happen in Slaughterville, Oklahoma.
Yep.
You never know what's going to happen, folks. Just out of curiosity, though, because I haven't seen it. Me personally, I have not seen this yet, but I'm just curious if you had the opportunity. Have you seen the new iteration of Superman on the big screen with this new guy, David Cornsweet?
No, I want to see it because I believe in giving them all a chance.
Yes.
If I like it or if I don't like it, I'll decide.
Who knows?
Exactly.
I don't know yet.
But I'm perfectly willing to go in and give it a try.
Okay, because it's on my list too. Because I'm a diehard Superman fan, and I haven't seen the new movie yet. I probably should have seen it, but then again, I'm not really big on certain crowds. I'm not really big on crowds in general, so. But I'm hoping to see it. Maybe if I have a spot open this weekend, I'll see it this weekend. If not, I can always see it next weekend after the dust settles between the release of Superman and Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Because Fantastic Four literally just came out 2 minutes ago. Yeah. So let's let the crowds have their double feature superhero fun.
I don't know.
For the first week or so. Sorry, you were saying?
No. I don't like. This might drop the old comic book cred on me, but I never cared for the Fantastic Four in the comics, and so I don't know if I'm still gonna watch it.
Oh, okay.
Just because, again, I try to support.
It's a new one.
Yep.
It's a new version. It's a reboot / bit of an origin story, as it were. Hence the reason they call it The First Steps.
Yeah, and Galactus looks amazing.
Yeah, that guy is a badass mamma jamma from the comics that I'm aware of. Haven't read any of the comics featuring Galactus yet. Sorry, folks, but I do know he is very menacing and very threatening. So, yeah,
I'm hoping about that.
Yeah.
And then, but if I had to choose, if it was like gun to my head, pick Superman or Fantastic Four, I'm going to pick Superman to go see it every time.
Yeah, I like DC and Marvel for different reasons, but if someone forced me to pick between the two companies, I'm going DC all day long.
Yeah, like I didn't think I'd like Batfleck. Okay,
he was good,
but turns out, he's my favorite.
Oh, he's your favorite of all of them? Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's going to cause a stir in the comments.
Yeah.
Wow, because some people have said Keaton is the best. A lot of people have said Christian Bale is the best. A few people have said Batfleck. But some people defend what's his name, Adam West 60s version. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm just like hashtag not my Batman. I know it was written for the time, the way he was presented, but when I look at the comics overall, that's not my Batman. Just hashtag not my Batman. But that's just me.
I would go Batfleck, Keaton, Pattinson. And then from there,
Pattinson, I thought was good too.
He really did a much better job than I ever expected him to.
And that was a year one origin story.
Yeah,
that was bad. That was loosely based off of Batman Year One.
Right, and sure, he was a bit emo. I can see that, but like you said, this was a year one thing. I figure this is him just getting started, and he might grow into the Batman persona. Well, and that's fully what I would have expected from it.
Hopefully,
I thought it was.
Well, hopefully we'll get character growth with him in the Batman too, whenever the frack that comes out.
Right.
It's taken forever to be written, produced, acted, directed, like because of the strikes that happened earlier on, and then you got the COVID delays and all this other stuff. I'm just like, guys, it shouldn't take this long to make a sequel to The Batman.
I know, right?
But then again, if you want to get it perfect and you want to get it right, it's best to take your time and not rush yourself. But it's like, dude, it's been like, how long has the first one been out before? Like 5-6 years?
I thought so, yeah.
It's been a while. I got to go back and look at my DVD history of that, or I could just Google it. Hey, there's Peacemaker.
I love Peacemaker.
Yeah, John, you can't see me. What are you playing, peekaboo? Of course we can see you, John. You got your bright orange shirt, your bright purple shirt. You're coming out here like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. Which, by the way, The Rock is so good on the mic. But then again, he's always been good. 9 times out of 10, the guy's good. Pop says, I'm going to be watching the new movie Happy Gilmore Part 2 when this show has come to a close. Wow, okay, because Happy Gilmore 2 dropped today on Netflix.
I didn't even know it was out.
That is true. It's out right now. And then he also goes on to say, Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman, according to Pops. That's listen, Batman 89 is one of my favorites, if not my favorite Batman movie of all time. Okay? And Keaton delivers in that movie. He delivers on all fronts. I'm not going to lie. But as far as who is the best Batman, well, here's the thing. That can go in so many different directions. Yep. But here's the thing I like about Batman. When I'm reading the Batman comics, when I'm reading a comic book, all I'm hearing is Kevin Conroy from the animated series.
Yeah.
That's all I hear because he is the definitive And speaking of Dark Knights, look at that Dark Knight right there. That's yeah, buddy. I got those films on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital HD, so I can stream them wherever I go on my mobile devices. So thank goodness for tablets, Chris,
Right?
because my tablet is one of my best friends because it has it has all these different movies on it, including the Keaton movies, the Western movies, a whole bunch of other genres, which includes, speaking of the horror genre, my friend just uploaded all the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street movies to the Movies Anywhere account. So booyah, I can go back and watch Nightmare on Elm Street whenever I freaking want. Come at me, bro. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So with that being said, I do want to take this opportunity. Well, here's something for you.
Sure.
When you're at conventions and you're going around, you're selling your book, or you're there as an attendee, what have been some of your favorite moments at conventions? Whether you're there as a vendor selling your book, Slaughterville, or there as an attendee meeting the big names in Hollywood.
Sure. If we're going to do best and worst, we can do that. But my best was, again, whenever I'm there as the vendor or as the artist kind of a thing, it is honest to God meeting the people, sitting down. I have so many videos or pictures of me playing the games with people. That's more to me than I could ever ask. I'll sit there and play all day. I've played with hundreds of different people just to hang out and play my game. Because I like the game, obviously, because I made it, but I like spending time with the people. Now, as an attendee, it's going around seeing the costumes, meeting the new people, meeting the other vendors, the other creators, and one pair of creators gave such a wonderful idea that I am ashamed I never thought of it. It was the artist in one section, the writer in another section. And they said, here, when you bought the book, you get a free mini print, right? They don't cost much to put out. And they said, we'll sign it here, but if you go find the other guy, he'll sign it too for nothing because you already have the receipt. You already have the book. He'll sign it for free for you. So that just got people to get out and meet more and more new people. I just thought that was absolutely awesome.
That's cool, man.
Those are my favorite things about conventions, is going out, meeting the people, and getting to talk to different creators.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, when I go to conventions, one of the better highlights for me is going to Artist Alley or Vendors Alley and meeting all the indie artists, indie writers, indie producers, all that kind of stuff. And we exchange business cards and we say, hey, if you want to be on the podcast, give me a call. Or, well, it's email. I don't have my phone number listed on that business card. I'm sorry. I prefer email to phone calls because otherwise my phone's just going to. Plus, you may get phone calls you may not want to get. Right. So better to protect yourself and just give them an email or a link tree that has all your links on it. That's even better, which is what I have on my business card. I have a QR code that takes you to my link tree that has all my links in one spot. But yeah, no, Vendors Alley, man, I could get lost going in there. I have so many great conversations with so many different people. And that's why I've become friends with a lot of vendors because of conventions. So thank you to the small shows or the medium, the big shows, whatever it is, because I made some great connections over the years. And Chris, you've done the same thing as well with meeting all these different folk, all these different kind folks at conventions. So yippee, everybody wins. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Is there anyone you hope to see at a convention somewhere down the line, or someone you hope to collaborate with somewhere down the line that you haven't as of yet?
Gosh. As far as that goes, I've met quite a few of the people that are on here that I know and that I'd like to, work with and talk with. I don't know. SD Perry would be somebody I'd like to talk to because he's written quite a few adaptations. I'd like to talk to him about how he got into it and how he got the chance to write those, just stuff like that. I got to meet, if you ever saw the show The Flash, CW, right? The Flash's mom was at the one convention where I was. Nicest person I think you'll ever meet in your life. It's just, you could tell that woman loved every second of life that she was in. It was just awesome. And then Diggle from, I'm 90% sure that's his name, from Arrow. He was there too. Real nice guy. You again, I don't know what it is, but they were really nice. Now, there were two that I met at the conventions that I have zero respect for them, but I won't say their names on here because I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, it's understandable. It's okay. But yeah, I think Michelle, I think is the woman you were. I
I'm
think
terrible with names.
No, I think it's Michelle. But then the other guy you were thinking of is David Ramsey, who played
Great
Diggle.
people.
Yeah.
Great. I never say enough nice things about them. I got to meet them before and during the conventions, and
Awesome.
because I knew the people that were running them, and
Mhm.
and it was just really nice. It was really good to see him. So
That's cool, man. Yeah, I've seen the CW Flash show. I didn't see all 7,000 seasons of it.
Me either.
I think it ran for like 9 seasons. I only saw like the first 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
After that, I got too busy,
checked out.
and I got other shows I would rather be watching than the Flash going up against another speedster every
Mhm.
single season was the through line. Which, sorry to say, that's not the best storytelling, folks.
Right.
The Flash has other rogues gallery of villains that you could have sifted through. I mean, I'm sure they did, and there's only so much you can do with certain members of the rogues gallery. But at the same time, it's like, dude, just bring in Captain Cold. He makes everything better. You know, Wentworth Miller, when he's thrown in there as Captain Cold, and then you get his brother from Prison Break, Dominic Purcell, as Heat Wave. I mean, I can watch those guys jibber jabber all day long, son.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. Great characters, too. And the fact that Wentworth Miller said on, he was on the spinoff series. You ever see Legends of Tomorrow?
I didn't see it, but I saw the trailer.
Oh, okay. Well, the first season is great. The first season is really good. I mean, there are some developmental problems with the Hawkman, Hawkgirl arc, but other than that, it's a solid show. It's a solid season 1 anyway. But he mentions Captain Cold and Heatwave. Minor spoiler alert for a 10, 15-year-old show. But Heatwave and Captain Cold are recruited to go on this mission with the time traveler, Rip Hunter, and they have to stop. I forget the villain's name. But he's an iconic DC villain. I can't remember. He's the one who can travel through time. I forget his name. This is good. This is going to kill me. I forget his name. I'm so sorry. But anyway, it's a good show. Feel free to check it out. It's on streaming, probably Netflix, because they have a deal with CW, if I'm not mistaken. If not, you can definitely find it on Max, because that's it's a Warner Brothers property thingamabob. You know what I mean? So there is that.
Yep.
But anyway, Legends of Tomorrow is a solid show for its first 1 or 2 seasons. So make sure you check that out, folks. Just throwing that out there as an example. For instance, if you're a DC fan like myself, DC, brother, yeah. Good stuff. And as far as my experience, to kind of bring this back to what we were talking about originally, my experience with Hulk Hogan was I went to a taping of SmackDown for the WWE. And this is when he was parading around as Mr. America and that horrible gimmick, that horrible mask.
The mask.
Yeah, the mask was so stupid. But he was in Piper's Pit with Hot Rod Rowdy Piper. And he was like, well, let me tell you something, Piper. And as soon as he did that, I'm wearing my SmackDown t-shirt. And you can see me on camera in the audience. And I'm doing this. I'm pointing my fingers like, yeah, let me tell you something, brother. Yeah, it's just, it was funny.
That's awesome.
It was funny. I have it on video. I have actually my family taped it for me because my brother and I were there at the SmackDown event. And I was like, Mom, you got to tape the episode of SmackDown I'm going to be on. And she did, and I still have the tape. It's in my storage locker, in case you're wondering. But yeah, no, that was fun. That was fun. That was a fun little Hulk Hogan moment there when he was messing with Piper's head, and his bodyguard. Forget his name, not Chuck Palumbo, but his Sean O'Hare was teaming up with Roddy Piper at that time. So yeah, that was my Hulk Hogan. It was a fun one. It was a small one, but it was
neat. Yeah.
It was very, very good to me. My pro wrestling days, very, very good to me. I watched wrestling from 1998 all the way to 2006. So I watched wrestling for 8 years during the latter part of the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression era, and things of that nature. I went to pay-per-views. I went to SmackDowns. Never been to a Raw. Never been to a WCW Monday Nitro when WCW was still around at the time. I never went to a WCW event. I feel so terrible for not doing that, because Big Sexy Kevin Nash is my original first favorite wrestler when I first started watching wrestling. And I waited so many years to meet Kevin Nash, and he was doing, he's doing conventions, in the last number of years. And I finally met Kevin Nash 20 some odd years later, 25 years later, whatever it was. I met him at GalaxyCon. I don't know if you ever heard of GalaxyCon. But GalaxyCon, I think it was in Raleigh, I want to say, or it may have been Richmond. Actually, it was one of the 2 R shows, Richmond or Raleigh. I can't remember which one. But I went to GalaxyCon, and Kevin Nash was wearing a Wolfpack shirt, and I was wearing my original Wolfpack shirt that I've had since I was a little boy, and it's very snug. It's very tug. It barely fits me anymore, Chris. But I walked up to him, I said, hey man, I just want to tell you, I've waited 20 years to meet you. When I first started watching pro wrestling, you were the first wrestler I ever saw on the television set. And I love the Wolfpack. I'm always going to be an NWO for life Wolfpack fan. I mean, I like the NWO in general. Like the black and white is good too, but
Yeah.
I'm an OG like Wolfpack fan, brother. You know. And I told him that. I brought 5 things for him to sign. He signed each and every single one of them. He signed my NWO for life DVD from WWE Home Video,
Nice.
my Kevin Nash The Outsider WCW Superstar Series VHS tape case. Okay.
Oh my.
I had the VHS. I brought it with me, but he signed the case because I didn't want him to sign the tape. I wanted him to sign the case of it. And he signed the NWO for life biographical video from WCW Superstar Series. Again, it's a VHS tape. So he signed those 3, and then he signed Super Shredder Funko Pop because he was the Super Shredder at the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that was him in the suit. And he's like, "Oh man, Super Shredder Pop, that's cool." You know, I remember filming that. That fabric was so heavy because we used some of the same fabrics that they used on the set of Batman '89. And I was like, really? They made your suit from the same fabric they made the Batman suit on? He's like, yeah, that's why it was so heavy. I was like, oh my God, man, that's crazy. So, you know, he signed that. And I think he signed, I don't think it was an action. It may have been, I can't remember what the other thing was, but it's all there. It's on my social media. And we had a great conversation. I told him how thankful I was to have met him and talked with him. And I was like, dude, when you beat Goldberg in '98 at Starrcade, man, like I was going crazy, you know, because you became the world champ. You defeated the man. You broke the Goldberg streak. And I just want to say, man, that was a great memory. I loved watching the footage. I loved you coming out in the Wolfpack, you know, regalia, the outfit, and holding up the title above your arm. Like it was like I'm such a fan of yours, man, and I appreciate that you came back with the NWO in 2002 and WWE and all this. So I was just telling him how much, like all these different memories. I was like, what was it like doing the? And then you know we talked about 1 or 2 of his matches that he was a part of, and you know as soon as our conversation came to a close, and I had to bolt because his line was starting to form. At the time when I went to his booth, he didn't really have a line, so I had like an extended period of time where I was just talking to him for like a flat 20, 25, 15, 20 minutes. Dude, it was freaking awesome. You should have been there, and. Before I walked away with all my stuff in tow, by the way, I had all this stuff with me. He says, wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. He says, yeah, what's up, Kev? And he says, here, I want to give this to you, man, for all your support, for everything you've done for me, man. Like, I got this for you. Here's an 8 here. And he gave me an 8x10 from his booth signed for free.
Nice.
Threw an extra one in just for the hay of it.
That is awesome.
Or to say thank you for being so supportive of me. I was like, hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And because when you're NWO for life. So I gave him the for life. I did the Wolfpack salute to him. And
no way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I was like, yeah, Wolfpack for life, man.
You have to.
And then I walked away and I was like, holy shit, that was life goals right there. And I met him. So, and my friend who was with me, she took a video of a little bit of our comment. She had to stand, back a bit. But there's a video on my social media pages where you can see me talking to Kev and how he's like really kind of wowed or just really, cool with me bringing all this stuff for him to sign. So feel free to check out the photos, the videos. It's all on our And I Quote channel Instagram page. It's on my Facebook page. If you and I are Facebook friends already, we will be here shortly. But it's all there, brother.
Okay.
It was a heck of a moment. So there you go. There's my little spiel about meeting big, sexy Kevin Nash, 7 feet. 315 pounds, master of the jackknife powerbomb. I'm just saying, brother.
Yep.
But I do want to take this opportunity to say, Chris Brown, it has been an honor and a pleasure having you here. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope I didn't, quiz you too badly.
No.
On some questions here. I hope you're willing to come back and hang out with us.
Absolutely.
In the future, we should talk some shop more about the horror genre and the subgenres of horror too. We should do that. But Chris, it was great to see you. Great to have you here. If someone wants to know more about you or catch up with some of your books or RPG and all the wonderful things you're doing over there, where can they follow you?
Sure. I'm at Laughing Rogue Games on Facebook, Laughing Rogue PA on Twitter X, Laughing Rogue on YouTube. Or you can just find me on one of the many dozens and dozens of madness shows that I usually end up going on. I'm always here, ready and available to chat with anybody they want.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, kind sir, for being with us. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Got a lot of things going for you too. So, and you got an awesome, tacular looking collection of movies and TV series back there on your set. I really respect that. That's good stuff. Physical media still exists, and we are proponents of it here. So thank you for doing that, Chris. Chris, I'm going to speak to you again here momentarily, so stick around. Feel free to grab a cup of coffee or some of that energy drink you got back there in your studio. I don't know. But my name is Ryan of Anaco Channel. Follow me across all forms of social media simply at, where is it? Where am I pointing to? There it is, at And I Quote Channel. That's where you can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook. Check out my YouTube channel where all we do is embrace the nerd within you. We have shows where we celebrate movies that turn a certain age every week with movie watch-alongs. The flagship show that I do is called And I Quote, where I interview some of the best indie creators all over the world, such as Chris Brown. You can find that on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And we got a whole lot of other things coming your way very soon. Yes, Pops, if you want me to be a part of the RPG campaigns of Slaughterville, I can do my best to make room in my busy schedule on a Tuesday, Thursday, whatever morning it is. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So send me the link, send me the schedule so I can pick out which day or days I can potentially attend and make room for that kind of stuff. Because like I said, RPG is new to me. I've never really done it before. So help me, Rhonda, because I don't know what I'm doing. But thank you for being a part of this episode of Freewheeling Fridays. We're going to be here on Friday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, as it says in the thumbnail and in the descriptions. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when the videos go up or they go live. And remember, life is better when supporting some of the best indie creators of all over the world. And enjoy the madness. Take a look.